So, Susan, question for you. Are you talking, when you're connecting to somebody and they come in for a reading, are you talking to their guides, their loved ones, their archangels, all the above? Do you even know?
Well, yeah, it's funny because they'll ask me that. Do I have angels, they'll say. And that's such a common question that I get. And I always tell everybody has angels. And the easiest way to tap into knowing who your angels are, when you're closest to water and nature, you are closest to the afterlife. So I tell people, if you can't swim in a pool or you can't be in an ocean, we live in Chicago, the next best thing is when you're in the bath or in the shower, thank your guardian angel or angels, okay? Rule 1, tell them thank you for always having their back, for your love, their guidance, their protection. I would love to know your name or your names. And then block out all the chit chat in your mind and then see what the first name or names will come, how many they are, what their names are, and those are your guardian angels. And let me tell you, you may get some off-the-wall names. Not every angel's name is Gabriel. You may have a Hector, you may have a Jojo, or we have some really, this is an angel name. Yeah. Okay?
Well, Larry and Curly are mine, apparently.
Okay, there you go. But, it's really, it's really true. It's just that simple. So when I start to tell people this, and it's amazing when they come back and see me or they'll email me, they'll say, oh my God, I got it.
Right.
It came through. So it's really quite nice, and you can always refer to them.
So I recently discovered the power of meditation. I sucked at meditating. I truly wanted to do it. It was just never easy, and I thought, oh, this is like homework I don't want to do. But I found, and I've talked about this since I've discovered it, there's a place called the Monroe Institute out of West Virginia, I believe, where for decades they've been doing research on the brain and how to help heal PTSD in the brain. And so they developed these meditations for the military after they came back from fighting to heal their brain, and found out it made them so intuitive that some of them became remote viewers for the CIA after they got this training. So, and there's been books written about it, and so I got some of the CDs, and the first set that I got, I'm so sorry to say this, but it sounded like my chemistry teacher from high school, and he needed to swallow, you know what I'm saying? Like you could, the voice was so not soothing, it was almost jarring, and I couldn't get into the groove. So I was recently given a meditation from the Monroe Institute that's the chakras, and it starts with the root chakra and ends with the ascension. It goes 1 through 8.
Yeah.
No talking, just tones, chords, sounds, chimes. Unbelievable. There's no creepy chemistry teacher voice. It's unbelievable. And so I tell people, find your way, whatever it is. Just because something works for me, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Just because some teacher tells you got to do this, maybe you don't have to do that. Find your path. Find what works for you. If it's angels in the shower, or if it's meditation, before work or after work. And I bet you have a lot of people that come to you, Susan, that are stuck. And one of the things we want to address today is how people can get out of their own way. Because everyone's looking outside of themselves for the answers.
But when people are stuck, it's usually because of what's happened to them prior.
Right.
And they're holding on to that. I had a woman that came and saw me, and I said, you really need to go to school. You really need to go and be a nurse. And she goes, oh, I wanted to. And I was in school doing it, and I got such terrible grades, and I got such anxiety, I quit. She says, I so loved it. And I said, yeah, but look, 10 years later, you're going from this job, and you're not happy. She says, I know. And she says, and I don't know how to do it. I says, well, first, you're actually holding on to a 10-year-old fear. Think about it for a minute. Things that have happened to you in the past, and it has, but where you are now, you are a completely different person. So think about the fear that you're holding that doesn't relevate to your life now.
Right.
So I always tell people, think about your soul goal. Okay? Think about something that you want to do. And start focusing on how to get there without all of that fear. Fear is very paralyzing. And I tell this to people all the time. It is highly toxic. It cripples you.
Right.
And I've been there. There's a lot of times I'm afraid. Even doing something like this, I still get nervous. And you're going to go, why do you get nervous? Because it makes a difference for me to do my absolute best. I think to myself, if I ever get to a point that I'm too comfortable, I think I need to stop doing it. Because this is how much I am in tune to people, and I really want to make this work.
Right.
Okay, but when you are going to sit and focus on all the things and the reasons why you shouldn't do it, you're never going to do it.
Right.
Okay? That's why I say, if you're, the glass is never half full. It's overflowing with water.
Right.
And that's how you have to look at it. Now, when you said something about meditation, I think the best way to find your meditation is to do something that soothes you. A lot of people think when you meditate, you have to be very still and very quiet, and that's okay if you like it. For me, it doesn't work that way. My way of meditation is doing something that really, really speaks to me. And then all of the good feelings start abundantly coming and overflowing.
Right.
Okay? Whether it's music, whether it's in a garden, whether it's when I play with a child.
Right.
Oh my God, all of these messages start to come through, and all the spirit guides start to give me more and more and more.
Right.
So you don't always have to be still. Think about what makes you happy, because when it makes you happy, you start calming down. The fear goes away. Now the invisible blockers come down.
And by what makes you happy, we're not talking like drinking 2 bottles of
No.
Pinot Grigio or a bag of
No.
chocolate chip cookies.
No.
We're talking about playing piano, going for a walk, walking the dog, playing with the kids.
Talking to a really good person
Right.
that just makes you feel alive again, gives you that peace, or
Right.
stimulates you. I always say, when people come and see me, they're like 2 different people. How they come in and versus when they leave, they are entirely 2 different people.
Right.
And I love that.
Right.
Okay, that's everything to me.
Truly.
Mhm.
So I was recently called by a realtor I get the craziest calls, who had a haunted house that someone was trying to renovate for 2 years. Turns out I lived in this house from when I was 9 to 15. I know, like, jaw dropper, what? And of course, right, there's no accident. I was supposed to go back to this house because I had these memories from when I was 9 to 15. I had terrible memories there with my stepmom at the time that I had not healed. So this was an opportunity for me to go into this space, face what I had put very deep in the trunk that I thought I would never have to look at. But apparently I called this in so I could heal this, face it, forgive it, let it go. Because here's the thing, guys, forgiveness isn't condoning the bad behavior of the mean stepmom. Forgiveness is letting you go from that entanglement of resentment. It's releasing you from the game of tennis, I call it. You're not hitting the ball back and forth over the net. Oh yeah, boom, you're letting it go. And so I hadn't let go a lot of the wounds that I had experienced in that house, and so the universe, because I keep asking, help me heal so I can heal others. Help me heal me so I can heal others. And this had to come up. So I go to this house and I bring one of my, I bring Ken the carpenter with me, to get rid of, and he sees all sorts of stuff in there. And anybody who knows or has listened to my podcast, I interview different people who've come into this work often reluctantly. It was not like you said when you were 8, when I grew up,
No.
I want to be talking to people about
No.
dead people. Yeah.
No.
So Ken is a guy who was struck by lightning and is now this healer. He was a carpenter pitching a roof. Whoops. Okay, so there's Ken. And so he comes in and he sees all this stuff, and my son is with me, who's 12 and is highly intuitive. There was so much healing that went on there, but what we learned, one of the biggest takeaways for me was how you have to heal those wounds from childhood to move on, truly move on. Like you really do. And I'm not talking about dwelling on it and sitting on it for weeks and weeks and weeks. You acknowledge it, you feel it, and then you move through it. And so I got to do that. And then this is something that I learned. The vibration of fear and anger from these spirits that were unresolved and not in the light cannot cohabitate with the vibration of humor, happiness, and classical music.
That's right.
So if you play Mozart at full volume, those guys are going to get out.
I know. That's very true.
I was like,
Because
what?
of the vibrations, it comes through. And it's really interesting because if you have classical music with no words, it's the tone that the frequency is so strong, it drowns them away.
Wow.
Think about a crying child. When my daughter was very, very young, she was a baby, and she would cry. If you remember back in the day, Victoria's Secrets used to have classical music in their store.
Now it's like,
Yeah.
it's like terrible.
I used to take my daughter Alex in the buggy, and I used to take her in Victoria's Secrets, and within 5 minutes she'd suck her thumb and she was right out. Classical music.
Right.
it's big.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then humor. So I thought back to when
Yeah.
we lived in this house. We lived in this house, and there was a lot of darkness and a lot of sadness. But what I think helped us survive is my dad played the piano, and he played classical piano all the time, every day, in the sunroom. And we would watch on a loop Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy, Raw.
Dolph
which
loved
we,
it.
Like, I learned all my swear words. And just comedy, and so we literally had comedy and classical music that got us through.
Yeah.
So then we moved out, and the next people came in. There was no music, there was no laughter. The people who lived there got a divorce. I mean, there was a lot of sadness, that the imprint. Talk to me when you go do like a ghost bust, I guess is the word. You get called a lot. You
I
just
do.
did one today.
I did, yeah.
You're okay now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but you have to know how to protect yourself.
Right. So talk about protection and how there can be imprints left in houses from sad energies that are there. Because anybody here might have a house that there's a room that doesn't quite feel right.
Right.
Or, you all know that feeling when you've gone over to someone's house and you can just tell they just had a terrible argument. You're like, ooh, God, let's get out of here.
The energy is so thick.
Yeah, it's heavy, and it's like it makes an imprint in the space.
Yeah.
We can't see it, but you can feel it.
Right.
But you can see it and feel it.
Oh, as soon as I go in, I can see who's attached to everybody. Oh, God, yeah. I can see who's there. Then when I do my little, blessing and my ritual that I do, it's very interesting because I go and I investigate the house or the business, or schools. I've done all of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's very interesting to what lurks there. And you can see the past because, I have a lot of people that do tear downs. So, they have these old buildings, they tear it down, they put these beautiful, beautiful mansion homes, and their children aren't sleeping. They're getting bruises in the middle of the night. The dogs are being, tortured. I hate to say it, they're yelping. And then the marriages are going to pot, and you're saying, well, what's wrong? And then they call me. And they say, is there something, my child keeps seeing something. We feel it, we don't see it, but I believe, and I love when the parents believe their children, because I say you should always believe your children because they don't lie. They're too young to make up and fabricate something like this. And I do want to make point on that because I was one of those children.
Right.
Okay.
You were what, 8 when you started?
6.
6.
Well, I know before 6. I was 6 when I knew the difference between spirit and present.
Right. And
That's
you
when
really
I
talk about this at home.
No.
Right.
No.
So did you think you were losing it?
No.
Okay. You knew
No.
what was right.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I always had really nice spirits around me to guide me.
That's good.
Yeah, I really did. So I'm one of the fortunate ones because I was never freaked out by any of that. I really wasn't. A lot of children are, and I get it, but I'm not. So I kind of just geared towards it. But going back to the home that I went to today, I had gone and it was a beautiful, lovely home. And there is a lot of love in that house, but I felt it. And the first thing I do is I say, give me a tour of your home, please. I want to see it. And I see every aspect of it. And then all of a sudden, as I'm looking, things start to uncover and I start to see. And I think, okay. So now, you do what you have to do, and I'll cut that short, but I basically have to get the spirits to cross over because what I am in contact with are earthbound spirits. It's different from spirits that have gone through the light. There's a big difference between earthbound and spirits that have passed into the light, and they can come back and forth. Totally different entities.
So today, what did you deal with?
Earthbound spirits. In a home, they're always earthbound.
And what was their beef? Why were they sticking around?
They just were not giving this family any peace.
Right, but why?
Because the problem was, originally, the house that was built before that, there was
So this was a McMansion?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't a mansion.
Okay.
No, but it was just another
New
home.
house on old, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They tore down the old.
But interesting enough, this man couldn't let go of the home. So instead, he got to be a not nice spirit.
Got it.
Okay, there are spirits that are not nice roommates.
Right.
I live in houses all the time, and I see a lot of spirits. I can live with them. That's not a problem.
Right.
But then you get the ones that can, and they make havoc. So be careful with that.
Right.
So I had to give this family, and there were 4 of them, by the way.
Okay. Were they related?
No.
Okay.
No, they were different.
Wow.
And, the one thing that I did know is that the mother and the daughter are quite intuitive. So think about when you're intuitive, you become a portal. Think about the spirits and the energy that gets attached to you. You bring that home. So it's very important to really protect yourself. My producer, Travis, who's back there, we do YouTube all day long, And we just, we do a number of them, and a lot of them haven't aired yet, but one of the new ones is saging stations, is what I call it. So if you are, say, a flight attendant, okay, or you're a Chicago police officer or a fireman or whatever you are, that you're always with not so great energy.
Right.
Before you come home, if you're right into the garage, sage yourself. Have a sage, have the bowl, have the Palo Santo, have everything. Before you even go into the house, sage.
Right.
Clear yourself before even entering that house.
They sell it at Whole Foods, everybody. It's very easy to get.
It is. Or
You say
Amazon.
that sage is the soap, Palo Santo is the lotion.
Right.
And it's just
Right.
if you don't have that, I was spraying this spray.
Mm-hmm.
They make these sprays that are really great. You can keep them in your car, and you just go like this, and you say, okay, I bring in the love and light of, the universe, God, whatever your mojo is, and just, I picture a shower coming down and literally going down the drain and going back to source for healing. Anything that's not mine for my highest good, I picture, boom, going, and then I go into the house. Because everybody's got to have some sort of system, and when I interviewed James Van Praagh, he said that too. You have to just picture a light shower. When you're driving, picture a light shower. After you've been in a meeting, picture a light shower. At work, as you're sitting there, picture a light shower. Whatever your protection is, because other energies will come and suck the life out of you. Dr. Orloff calls it energy vampires. They are everywhere. They're in your family. They're at Thanksgiving dinner. They're in your office. There's next to you in traffic. And so you just have to protect yourself. And this is so
You do.
important.
And you also have to protect if you're going to go to flea markets and estate sales. And I'm not against it, but you are an open portal when I tell you. So think about that.
This is true for antique collectors. I'm
not knocking
Yeah.
it. I'm
Yeah.
not, but I'm
Right.
telling you, my husband loves to go to antique stores, and he knows I've not had good experiences with them. So the last time I was there was about 12 years ago. So we were in Arizona, and he wanted to see it, and I'm like, oh, all right, I bit the bullet. There you go, classic case. Listen to what you're getting. So here I'm pleasing him, and we go to this antique store. And there was this one room of beautiful crystals, beautiful amethyst, beautiful stones. And I went to go touch it, and I got zapped. I'm like, oh, like somebody took a thing and burnt me.
Wow.
Here it is.
Oh my God, yes, there's a scar there.
Okay? Oh yeah. Did not want me there. A spirit. Not a nice one, let me tell you.
Right.
So then I'm walking around. My husband goes, I cannot believe it was a burn. Okay? So my husband goes, are you okay? I'm like, no.
Get me out of here.
What do you think? And it was funny. So as we were walking and we're walking out, there was a curio cabinet, and there were all these medals and patches of World War, was it II, World War I, Germany
Right.
and
Yeah,
the
World War II.
SWAT.
Yeah,
Okay.
World War II.
And all of a sudden, this German soldier came out like he was going to attack me.
From
And
the cabinet?
Uh-huh.
That's inconvenient.
Yeah, like in Hitler days, and he looked at me and he said, "You don't understand," and he goes like that to me, and I looked at him and I thought, "No, you don't understand. I'm out."
Yeah.
I said to my husband, "Let's go.
Yeah. I'm out of here.
I'm done."
Yeah.
This burn was horrible. Turned into a big bubble. I mean, it was hurting, and so again. So what is the meaning of the story that I'm telling you? So let's say I just went to the antique store and I bought this vase and it's beautiful. Okay, I want you to have a squirt bottle, and I want you to put sea salt and water in it. Okay, now you're going to take the squirt bottle and you're going to keep it with you. Now you're going to pay for this vase, and then before you even enter it in your car, you're going to spray it with sea salt and water. Now,
What if it's already in the living room and it's been there for 10 years?
I feel for you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So here's what it is. Okay. Now you just inherited that spirit. See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
all right. So you are going to spray this. Here's what happens. You turn this into Teflon. You turn the object into Teflon. So the earthbound spirit that was theirs is trying to attach, and it can't. So it becomes like Teflon. Now you're free to take it home, and it becomes yours. Pay attention, people, because this exists.
Okay, so now you have a house full of antiques, and there's probably a bunch of spirits hanging around.
You
so
got it.
You got to sage your house. You got to.
It's not enough. Not enough. Not enough. You need somebody like what I do,
Okay.
because now I've got to get them into the light. First of all, earthbound spirits have no place here.
Right, but what if there aren't any? What if there isn't any activity? What if some of is it possible that vase has happy energies?
Fine.
Okay.
I'm talking about things that are going a little
You're
kooky.
talking about the German soldiers.
I'm
the
talking
yeah.
about the kids that can't sleep. I'm talking about the divorces that are happening in the house, and everything was fine until they bought this beautiful home, or they had it built, and now it's been one thing after another.
Right.
Okay, I had a woman that came in, and this really, I had 4 couples today, well, this week, and their children were shot and killed. So it was a very hard week for me, and having to deal with that, and it was very traumatic.
Right.
Seeing parents grieve over their murdered children.
Right.
It's a big difference, okay? And the one lady that I had yesterday, my heart just bled. I even went home thinking about her.
Right.
And it was a very painful session. And her son came through beautifully. But
And what do they say to help? Where, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I want to
No,
get to that
go
story.
ahead.
But for someone whose child has been murdered, I mean, are they saying, I'm okay, I'm here? I mean, I know you hear that all the time.
yeah,
but
it's very
so hard
clear.
for a grieving
It
parent.
is. I mean, yes, they'll do that, but they do have stories to tell their parents, and they want them to know what's really going on and what really happened.
Right.
I had another couple that came on Friday evening. Their child was murdered, 15 years old, and it was about 1.5 years when this happened, and they know what happened. The boy went to jail, but there wasn't enough closure to get them through. Now, their son came through and said abundance of things of what really went on.
Gave them the closure.
It had to.
Yeah, yeah.
It had to.
Okay, so back to the woman you were saying.
Well, the first place, when she told me, because it was funny, because I said, your son keeps telling me he never liked where he lived. And I said, do you live like in Waukegan or where? She goes, I live in Waukegan. I said, I hate to say it, I'm not bummed against Waukegan, but I said, where you live is not a really, really healthy, good atmosphere. Mm-hmm. She looked at me and she said, my husband said that from day one when we bought this house. He didn't feel right in this house, and he never saw a good day. And he said, I hate where we live. I hate how this house and this neighborhood makes me feel.
Right.
I'm so glad I'm tape recording this, because he is going to be very happy to hear this.
Right.
And I said, you never did see a good day in Waukegan. She says, no, I did not.
So there are some places that have ley lines and vibrations.
Very
and
much so.
There were massacres that happened, and they built on top of it. I mean, there's all sorts of things that could be contributing to the chaos of a certain intersection.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about it, the restaurant that never makes it. You go, well, what the heck? There needs to be a major overhaul. Can that energy be corrected?
Yes, I did one. It's a great question. I did one in the city, and she is a client of mine, and I love her. And she has this property, and every property from the main bottom, real estate, they had gazillion things. Nothing would stay.
Right.
So she says to me, would you come? Would you see? Do you think you can clear it? I said, well, I can come and see it. I don't guarantee anything till I see it. Well, I did, and I said, you have an entourage here. I said, okay, we're going to get you going. I said, so let me do it. Mm-hmm. So I got them all to go. And I said, you're okay. You're on a clean slate now. Mm-hmm. So you're okay. So she says, I can do it. I said, yeah. So she ended up going in partners with somebody with a restaurant, and they're doing quite well. Business is booming. Smart. Before she had the opening, and this restaurant is really adorable, she had me come again. Well, sure, because contractors are in, all that energy is being tampered with too. And I cleared it, and 2 years later, it's still going strong. She's doing wonderful. So yes, it can be fixed.
It can be fixed. And
Mm-hmm.
also, too, people who come in and do work in someone's home could leave a residual.
There's always residue.
Right.
Always. Hey, think about something, okay? Think about when you're having a big party. Think about the energy that's coming in your home. Think about every one of you here. I'm sure you're all nice people, but we all, including myself, have energy. So think about all in one room what it does.
Right.
And I always tell people, think about if you didn't take a shower for a month, how bad would you stink? I know I would.
Right.
Think
well,
about
we're all
it.
white cars that need washing.
But your space
We are.
needs to be cleared just as much.
Right.
Your car needs to be cleared. It starts with the car. It starts with you, what you transfer into the car that gets transferred into your home.
Do you
Think
guys
about
know
that.
anybody who always gets in car accidents? I mean, yeah, I seriously, like, I have a relative, always,
Yeah.
there's something always, there's not enough sage, I don't think, to help them.
I
But-
had a woman, and I kept seeing one car accident, and here's what I said to her. Why do I see car accidents around you? And she goes, because I've had 6. I go, but none of them were your fault. And she goes, right again.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. I said, it's you.
Right.
You're a portal of spirit, so you need to clear yourself and you need to sage the inside of your car. So a year and a half later, she emailed me and she goes, knock on wood, no accident.
Right.
I'm saging.
What's the story about the motorcycle guy? Remember you told me about someone had to sage their motorcycle?
Motorcycle, boats.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, if you have a boat, sage the boat. Sage the motorcycle. Sage your children's bicycles. Think about it. It's energy.
Right.
You think it can't, come in a...
Do you ever think that sometimes we get so caught up in the fear of bad things happening that it prevents us from the flow?
Yeah, because here's what happens. When you're constantly really waiting for that shoe to fall, you are actually setting the course for it to fall.
So then you're telling us to, like, I'm got like picturing putting salt on every piece of my furniture, but like, how can I enjoy my living room ever again?
Well, you can. You can. You can.
I mean, it's
You
that.
can.
I feel like this is a fine line. Being a spiritual warrior is sometimes really exhausting, and at the same time, sometimes you just gotta say, "Hey, I'm gonna call in all of my angels and guides to clear out this living room because I'm too exhausted to put salt water on everything in this room."
Disagree.
You disagree?
Disagree. Okay, you have to call in everybody to the table spiritually for
Okay.
everything to work. People think if they just sage and they don't have to be spiritually connected
Right.
to their guides or to the angels or to God, okay? They think they don't have to do that. You can't do one without the other.
Right.
Okay, when you start really calling in the artillery, everybody, your life becomes a lot smoother because you've got a lot more. God created all of these extensions for us. Use them.
But it's sort of like that person in Africa that doesn't even know who Jesus is.
Doesn't
If they
have
don't-
to.
So then how do they know to call in the tools if they don't know what the tools are? They're
There's
bringing in different
people
tools.
that may not be into God, but they are into other type of spiritual, okay?
Right.
And it helps them, and
So
that's
what I'm saying,
okay.
like, your ritual is yours, but I don't know all the people you call in. So if I call in a different ritual, how can that not be effective?
It will be affected. This is what I'm telling you. Call in the people, or I shouldn't say people. Call in the spirits that help you.
Okay.
Okay? Call them to the table. I always say you can pray at night. I pray every day, all day long. Every time a client leaves my office, I actually pray for them too. I want to send them well wishes, and I do. I mean, I pray all day long. I pray for my client that smiled, that actually had closure with me today.
Right.
I do. I pray about everything. I say thank you about everything. Even
One of-
something so minor, I pray about it.
And
I pray if I don't get lost, and I got to, so I'm notorious for getting lost. I found my way.
that's good.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that I've interviewed that you've talked to that say when you get to the other side,
Yeah.
you see like your movie, it's like a life review, and you see everything that you put out. So somebody who's died a terrible death, or for example, Daniel Brinkley, he wrote a book called Saved by the Light. He was struck by lightning, and he says that, and he was at Chicago IONS, and the International Association for Near-Death Studies, and he died and came back. But when he life movie, and he was a Navy SEAL, and he had to kill people for his job. So he saw how his job affected all those families and the friends and all the grief, and he felt the ripple of all the grief. He felt all the grief that he put out.
You're supposed to.
Right, and he said though, so he came back and now he hugs everybody. I mean, like in the Line of the Jewel, he wants a better movie for when he gets over there. So it's like you saying, you're praying, your prayers are heard. I interviewed a woman who interviews children who've had near-death experiences, and they can't be comparing notes. They're not going to the library, right? They're not checking out a book on near-death experiences.
They're all true.
They're all true, and they say they see prayers going from the person who's praying to the recipient like a rainbow coming from the heart of the prayer, the person praying, to the recipient. A rainbow, just a pure, beautiful light.
I constantly see rainbows all day.
You see rainbows.
Colors are very important. Here's the thing, okay? Our book of life, when we go, and it's our time to go, and we go to the hereafter, as they say, you will have a life review. And any bad thing that you did to somebody, any hurtful thing, any hurtful emotion that you caused, you're going to feel that pain. Anything good that you did, you're going to feel that too. Now you're going to say, is that punishment? No, it's soul growth. We have to feel it so we understand it. And this is what the afterlife is. I had a reading with a mobster, okay? Never forget it. And you think my office, there were so many people that he literally had killed.
How much sage did you have to buy?
There wasn't enough. And it was interesting because it was a pretty deep session. I had a session with him for 2 hours, and he said having a session with you is like taking a dump. I'll never forget it. He said that to me. Okay, because as a macho guy and as a professional hit guy that he was, he cried and he broke down because it caught up with him.
Right.
And he was so deathly afraid that when it was his turn, that he was just going to be really punished in a bad way, and he was afraid of
So he's gonna feel all the pain of all the people he killed, and all the people that are feeling grief because of the people he killed.
There you go.
So that's his version of hell.
That's the life review,
Right.
and we're all going to go through that.
Right.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
We need to go through it.
Right.
How are you going to know the difference if you're not going to feel the other side of an emotion? You get good emotion, you have painful emotion. You have to feel that.
Right.
And you hopefully can take that with you into the next lifetime, so it makes you a better person.
So when people get stuck in why, woe is me, right? Why me?
Mm-hmm.
The victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
This sucks. I hate it. I don't want this.
Mm-hmm.
If we could get out of victimhood and into gratitude,
Or
right?
say, what am I supposed to be learning?
Right.
What am I missing?
What am I missing?
What am I missing?
Or how about you don't know if you believe in other lifetimes.
Very much so.
So maybe the shoe was on the other foot in another lifetime.
Maybe there are some lifetimes we have easier lifetimes than others.
Right.
You know, this might be, when you see somebody who is always lucky, gets everything, you say, what the heck?
Right.
This is this person's lifetime.
To have it all work out.
Yes. And you know, when I see a person like that, I'm happy for them.
Right.
Because they had misery all the other lifetimes.
Right. This is their.
This
so
is.
happy for them.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough for all of us.
That's
Instead
right.
of being
I'm very
resentful.
happy because
Right.
I'm thinking this is this person's lifetime to really bathe in it. It's okay.
Right,
There's
right.
nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That's why, seriously, I mean, we're human and sometimes we wish we had that. But there's no room for jealousy.
Right.
There is not. Understand, when you come into this life, you are walking your own race. Stop comparing yourself to the person next door, to your child, to your friend. Everybody is different because it's what they need to experience of their soul growth and what they've had to learn. So stop doing that. If you can get rid of that and that ego, oh my God,
Right.
it's great.
Right. Well, then I think everyone needs to get rid of Facebook, pretty much.
Well, I call it the fake book.
Facebook. Yeah, exactly. No, but truly, I think that there's so much energy that's put into why is this so hard, instead of accepting that this is the way it is. You don't know how it's been on other times, and that this is the challenge you signed up for. That, believe it or not, you actually created this syllabus. Before you get here, you sign up.
You agreed.
Courses.
You agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You agreed. Just like you agreed that you agreed for your son to be his mother. He agreed that you were going to be his mother. Okay. All of this stuff was an agreement prior.
I agreed to my mother too.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
She agreed to her mother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's hard. I know it's a real hard
No,
thing.
but that's true. I mean, if you
Yeah.
sign up for it, it's like, okay, gosh, I really need to learn discernment. So
Think
I'm gonna
about
sign up
who
for
you-
these lessons, and I'll have
But-
these parents.
Yeah, you've had it hard. I know you had, and I know a
Well,
lot of.
everyone's had it hard in some way, shape, or form, except
yeah.
for those people that haven't because they had it hard in the other lifetime.
Right, but
Right.
look what you're taking away because of it.
Right. Right.
If we've never had a hard thing, how shallow would we be? We wouldn't know the difference of anything.
Right.
How would we appreciate anything really loving and good?
Right.
We need that. Now, I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody. And no, I don't want anything bad to happen. Not to you, not to me, not to anybody. But there's something deeper here. Okay?
Right. So
There's something deeper.
in the last few months, you've been commuting back and forth between here and Arizona. You've
Yeah.
been seeing people in both places.
Yeah.
What are some of the big ahas that you've learned about yourself in this journey from seeing clients in both places? You learned anything about yourself, your resilience, your tenacity, you're exhausted?
I'm very exhausted. No, but it's a good exhaustion. But I have to say, there's no difference wherever you are in this world. People truly are the same.
People are the same here and they're the same in Arizona?
Yeah, they are.
Right.
They may be happier out there because they have sun and nice weather. But honestly, they're the same. We're all the same. We all have our obstacles. We're all just trying to get it right. We're all just trying to get through it.
Right.
okay, and that's what this is about. But I don't see a difference in people. Maybe in culture, maybe in people when they have accents and where they are and where they're from. But I do a lot of phone sessions all over the world. Now think about that. People still have the same problems as you and I.
Right. Still the most consistent. When am I going to get the guy? When am I going to get the job? And when am I going to get the money?
Yeah, you know what? They're so afraid. People are so afraid of being alone.
Right. And so we were just having this conversation. I was sharing it with a couple of people who came very early, that people are so afraid of being alone.
Very
that they
much.
think something is wrong with solitude. And solitude is where all the best stuff takes place. You can witness it the best. You can feel it. You can absorb it. If you have a witness to it, that's cool. But your witness right now is you and the universe. It's you and God. It's between you and your soul. And so if I've realized in the past 6 months, a lot of people don't want to heal. They just want to stop their feelings. They don't want to feel, and they surely don't want to heal. Because when you work on your inner stuff, it hurts. And you go, I don't want to hurt again. It hurt when I was 9. Why do I want to feel that again? Well, again, it's not keeping your heel on the bruise. You're unpacking. You're unpacking that hurt so that you can heal. And a lot of people don't want to heal because then they'd actually have to do something with themselves.
Well, they'd have to do the work.
They not only have to do the work, but then other people might call on them for help. Because think about it. If
True.
you're that person that's always sick, people call you and they're like, hey, how are you? Are you okay? It feels so good that people ask if you're okay, right? But guess what? If you're healthy, they'll call and ask that anyway. Because you will be inspiring them and they'll say, I'll have what she's having. I want to be healed versus I want to be hurt and have people call on me.
I find that people, they don't know their limits and their balances, especially the real sweet people, and they get crapped on.
Right.
Literally.
And
they don't know, and they feel so guilty.
Right.
And they just don't know how to emerge from that.
Right.
And I tell them, these people are not going to change who you're surrounding yourself with. You need to change. Those people are going to be the energy vampires. They're going to want everything from you. They're not going to change. How are you going to handle it? Do you ever think that maybe universe puts these energy vampires over and over, giving you another chance to see if you're going to get it right for you to say no? Think about that.
Right. It's your test. You told me this to me today on the phone. She's like, this is not a test from the universe, Jen. Are you going to get it? Or do they have to send another person in a different costume?
Same lesson,
exactly.
Faces change.
And they just take the mustache off.
Yeah. But isn't that true?
It's totally true.
Okay, same thing when I see people who don't have children in this lifetime. And I did a YouTube on that. I do not like when people go, oh, you don't have any kids, I feel bad. Oh, you don't want kids? Well, you'll change your mind. Stop.
Right.
It is not for them, maybe in this lifetime, to have the children. Let's honor that because this person may be on a different mission of what they need to experience. Okay, think about what you say to people because really, you really don't know what you're saying.
So I'm going to put a call out to everyone in here to try to be aware of your judgments, right? Anybody who is not doing what you think they should be doing. And then try this on for size. Just say, you know what? They're doing the best they can in this moment right now. And that's it. It isn't bad. It isn't good. It just is. Oh my God, that's the best song ever. What is that, a ring? Somebody's got like a cha-cha ring. That was good. So try just accepting people for who they are exactly. People are where they are. Meet them where they are. If you inspire them by who you are, awesome.
Yeah.
But the more you impose, the more they're going to run the other direction. Really, it's like two magnets when you have the wrong side. It's like, you keep pushing. Nope. You have to allow them to change. You can inspire. Don't just let them rot. But if you keep going and trying and you're exhausted, why are you trying so hard? Go where you're wanted. Go with the flow.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
That's okay.
Serious.
Don't worry.
I'm just trying to turn it off.
All right, maybe that's somebody's dead person. We should get some questions. What time is it, guys? We have to be out of here at 7.
5:45.
5:45?
Okay,
good.
we have
All right,
time.
good.
We have
Good.
time.
Yeah,
We have
4
time.
more minutes, and then we're
Okay.
going to start the
Okay,
questions.
that's fine.
But anyway, so my realization of how much I try to I sent someone a podcast that I did recently with somebody, and their response was, "You think you know everything, don't you?" That's what she said to me. I was like, huh? I think I'm pretty honest about not knowing a whole bunch and asking a lot of people to get the answers to the stuff I surely don't know. But what happened was I brought up something in her that wasn't healed. So when someone reacts to you with a negative right out of the gate, you have reminded them of something that they have yet to heal. Okay? Something, because otherwise, why would they have a reaction? If somebody says, "Oh my God, it's so sunny out." Yeah? What about it?
Well, they're just angry to begin with.
They're, like you talked about, somebody came in, they were feisty right out of the gate, and then you told them that they had just had an argument and basically told them why they were so feisty, and they shut up. So we're all just like these ticks ready to explode because we don't have a coping mechanism for how to unwind other than Prosecco.
Yeah.
So what can we do other than staging ourselves and being mindful and taking care of ourselves from a spiritual level and an energetic level, from what you see with your clients? What would you recommend to everyone in this room that they start doing when they leave here so that they can better their spiritual core?
We have another chance to do it again tomorrow. Think about every new day that comes. This is what the gift is. It isn't just waking up and saying, "I'm alive." It's what you're going to do with it. And you have another chance to get up and look at it in another way or try a different way. Number one.
Right.
That is something that's really important. Second of all, don't be so hard on yourself. If you're having a tough day and you just want to feel bad for yourself, you can, but don't get stuck in it. I'm not against anybody feeling bad and just having a good cry. That's okay. We're human. We're not machines. Okay? But don't get stuck in it. Because if you allow yourself to get stuck in it, you are going to miss out all the great things that are coming your way. Remember I said the invisible blockers?
Right.
Okay? I have a lot of people who have very negative thinking, or they're martyrs. I know a lot of people that are martyrs.
Yeah.
And they have an answer for everything. I had a lady, okay, that I still know. She has an answer for everything. And guess what? I said, "You seem to know it all, so I'm not saying anymore. Why did you call me? Why are you here?"
So she's a client?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Look, I'm very grateful for people and I love people, but if you really aren't going to get it, I don't care if I'm kneeling on the floor. It's not going to make you change.
Right.
Okay, there's not much. It's a yin and a yang. You
Right.
have to be willing to hear the messages, but you also have to be ready to hear it, maybe a different strategy, and try it.
Right.
I always say you try everything once, twice if you like it.
Right.
Open yourself up. If you're going to stay tunnel, you're going to have tunnel vision in life.
Right. Well, the universe also puts these little nuggets for you guys in your path. I was just talking about this with Sherry Jewel, medium in the back there, about this. The author of the Celestine Prophecy was in town. He's like redoing the Celestine Prophecy. Raise your hands if you've read the Celestine Prophecy. So that was one of the first books that kind of got me on this spiritual path. I think it was, 23 when I read it. And the whole thing is that things will be put in your path, but it's your job to grab the right fruit. Okay? Not everything is going to land in your lap. You can't just sit in the driveway and expect that someone's going to pull up and be like, "Jen, where have you been? Get in the car." There's going to be things that show up for you, and oftentimes it's in 2 or 3s. So for me, if I hear, "Oh, you should go meet John of God," I was like, "Yeah, well, that's weird. He's, in another country." Well, then, somebody brings up John of God. I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." Twice in 1 week. And then the third person says, "John of God's going to be in Toronto." I'm like, "Okay, got it." So it took me action to look it up, go to Toronto, meet John of God. I was meant to meet John of God. It came up 3 times in a week.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the universe puts these little nuggets. You're saying, "Gosh, I really need a new job." And then you sit next to someone on the train and they'll be like talking about the exact job that you're looking for at a firm. It's your job to turn to them and say, "Hi, I'm sorry, I couldn't help but overhear what you were saying. I'm looking for that exact job. Could I have your contact information?" Then you're in the groove. Then your car is in the lane and poof, just wait and see what happens. But if you don't get in that lane, I was just talking here with somebody about contracts expiring. And I write about this in my 3rd book, This Isn't the Life I Ordered. Guess what, guys? Sometimes a contract is 2 months long, 6 months long, 6 years long. With a person, with a job, with an encounter, with an energy, with a friendship. We get so stuck on the fact that, oh my gosh, so-and-so doesn't call me anymore. Maybe that contract's over.
Yeah, it's expired. You're
It's
done.
expired. And guess what? You can renew it or you can let it go. And if it doesn't fit where you are, we change. You know, like notes in a music note. If you have all the notes in a chord, they sound really great. But then if you move one note up, like you're doing, raising your vibration, and all the other notes stay the same, that sounds like crap. They have to move up with you or move down to make that note harmonious, but they can't stay exactly where they are. So that happens a lot in marriages. We see people suddenly get enlightened and their partner doesn't want anything to do with it. They like things the way they were. So here you are up here. I bet you see this a lot in your work.
Oh, I see a lot of couples that are not in sync. I see parents with their kids and they're not in sync.
Right.
And that is really something to see, okay? And most of the time, I actually think it's the parent who's not listening. Well, think about it, because if you look at it, you know, I have so many parents, and you look at the mothers and you look at their daughters, or their, especially the daughters, well, I shouldn't say both. You know, I have a lot of transgender kids. And I had a mother who came and saw me, and I you know, she wanted to know about her kids, and I'm picking them apart. And then I came to the transgender, and I said, gay? And she goes, transgender. I said, okay. And she goes, that's the one I'm having a hard time. And she goes, because she's going through the operations, and you know, she's taking away her parts, and it's really bothering me. I go, but it's not you.
Right.
This is something she needs to do for her. What really changes? Who she loves, what kind of people she loves, she's still going to be your child.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So the problem is not your child, it's you and how you're viewing it. You have to sit there and exchange it and look at it in a different way. So you have to make peace. Now, there's the problem in a nutshell. Most people cannot make their peace, and this is why they get stuck. When you could sit there and make your peace about something, you don't have to love it, you could still be hurt, but you have to have your peace that gives you your closure. Now, once you get your closure, you can move on.
But that also goes back to the judgment piece. She's having a judgment about her child wanting to change sexes.
She's having an illusion to how she wants to see her daughter. And you cannot. I say our illusions get us in trouble all the time, okay? What we wish and what we hope for becomes an illusion we dwell on. Look at it for truth, and now you're released from your own prison of the illusion that you've created all along. Think about that.
So let's tell everybody how you work when we're going to ask questions. So when Susan's on the radio and she gets calls, you know, people are like, when's my boyfriend coming? Where's my new job? Give me a raise.
Yeah.
That's how you guys know we're not picking favorites and everybody's got questions, and so it's literally a grab and go situation. Hello, Sephora. So have your question in mind, and we're going to address accordingly. And yes, I need readers to read these numbers. Don't mock me.
Look how
Don't
cute they
mock
are.
my pain. Okay.
Okay.
Can you read the number?
Oh, yeah, sure. I need readers. I need big ones. 367-1691.
1691. All right.
Hi.
What's your name?
Lindsay,
Okay, Lindsay, go ahead. Stand up. What's your question?
I was actually, so about 6 months ago, I had a bunch of stuff happen that kind of altered my life path and everything else. So I'm just trying to figure out if I'm on the right path, if it should be kind of adjusted, or starting a new job next week. So just kind of trying to figure that out.
I'm proud of you, because this took you a long time. I have to tell you, because now you're starting to really think in the right direction that you didn't do before. You took a lot of things for granted, okay? And that's the problem, no offense. And where you were before, I don't think the people were so great. I do want to say that. This is going to be a nicer job for you. I will tell you that. And you're going to grow with this job. All right, now, the growth you're ready for. So there's going to be step, 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 step. This is going to be a good thing for you. And I'm going to say by 2020, you are going to really, really cut a niche for yourself. Your finances are also going to shift. Okay, I know you're not asking me, but I'm telling you, I'm seeing it. Okay, so that's a good thing. Don't do any real investments till the end of 2019. because that's when you will be ready for them. So I just wanted to tell you that. So it's a good thing. It really is. Okay? But you're going to keep going up and up.
2020 will be here before we know it. You'll blink and it'll be
Yeah, but she's
2020.
going to make some good money.
You're going to make some good money. Party at Lindsay's house. in 2020.
All right. Do I do just the last numbers maybe? Or are they?
Maybe. Yeah,
All right.
last three.
How about 695?
Hey. Go ahead. Stand up. Tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Rita.
Hi, Rita.
Hi. 2 years ago, I had 3 family members die within 6 months of each other.
I'm sorry.
And I'm very curious as to what you see or what you feel.
Is one of the family members, did they die unexpectedly?
Yes.
Okay. The one unexpectedly is saying A-okay. All right. That one seems to have it the best. I hate to say it that way. This spirit was a very happy spirit. Okay. And this spirit is very happy in the afterlife. So you have nothing to worry about. Did somebody leave you a ring? I keep getting a jewelry. Did this person have a ring that they were very fond of? You better ask because she's talking about the ring. So whoever has her ring, please take good care of it. She doesn't want it bouncing from person to person. So I am getting that. I am. The one spirit is saying thank you. So was there a lot of work that you were doing with the spirit?
Yes.
Okay. Immense gratitude because there was a lot that you were doing. It was not easy. I just want to say that. It wasn't. So okay. I'll leave you that way. All right. Poor thing. Okay. 683. Oh,
Right in the front.
look at that.
Lisa.
Okay.
They know my question.
We'll give her your name so she can check.
Oh,
What's your name?
all right.
My name's Louisa,
Okay, Louisa.
and a really dear friend of ours passed recently. And I have been able to connect with spirits against my will many times. They just pop into my life. So I went out in my flower garden and I tried to contact this spirit that just was such a dear person to us. And what I got was something that made no sense to me at all. So I'm asking if you can make sense of this.
What did you get that didn't make sense?
So for the rest of the room, she's recently lost someone very close to her. She was out in the garden and she got some sort of message that didn't make any sense. Okay.
I got, and this has happened about 3 times, I get the same image. I get the image of a side profile of a very pregnant woman, and all I get is the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you know what a sonogram baby's face
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
well, I keep getting this sonogram of this baby, and it's the person who passed.
So he's being recycled.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of...
Right? Already? That's fast. It was like a month ago. So that bears a good question, but all right, go ahead.
I have to be honest with you. I actually believe that this woman is also being reincarnated quite quickly. That's what I'm getting. This is why you can't really get too much from her.
It was a man.
Or him. But hang on a minute. Here's another thing. I want to say that this man is already starting to prepare to be born. Got it?
That's what I felt, but I didn't...
Thank you.
No.
No. Let me explain this. I love this. Okay. No, this is good. This is really good. Okay. Many people ask me, has so-and-so reincarnated? You know, my son Joey looks just like my father, and we swear that he's my father. Well, I tell people, when I get contact from spirit, that tells me, number one, they're not reincarnated, because if they were, they'd be in another body, they'd be human again. So there's the difference. So sometimes I'm not saying for everybody, it has to be on an individual case when I read them, but some spirits reincarnate quite quickly. That is the difference. Okay? This man is already being ready to be born. And he wanted to do it again. And this is what is happening here. Oh, I love this.
Could he be born to his daughter?
Could be, yes, absolutely. Here, I say this all the time. We both say this, okay? We are what? Recycled souls.
Right.
Recycled bodies. We constantly keep going and going and going. We're in new bodies, but we are recycled souls. So yes, don't look at, soul plane, I call it. So everybody that's really, really in your life, is going to be in your next lifetime. The roles change. So maybe your husband was your father. Okay, maybe your mother is going to, maybe your mother-in-law is going to be the boss you can't stand. I'm being funny. But honestly, this is really everybody's purpose and role constantly will change. All right, I'm going to just say this to you. Did you ever have a hard subject in school and you kept failing at it? Okay, so this boy now is taking algebra and he gets an F because he's just not in sync with the teacher. He doesn't do well. So now he's got to go to summer school, okay? But yet he has a new teacher and the teacher's teaching it different. Not only does the child pass, but gets a B. Okay, so what have we learned? That person that he was with the original teacher is not doing well. It's the same thing with, say, a mother. You didn't get along with your mother. Okay, next lifetime, you're going with, say, your sister who is much kinder, and you're going to have a better way because she was much kinder to you. So the results will be better. You will be better as a human being without that personality because that personality was just horrible. Do you see what I'm talking about? Now, sometimes we sign up to other people and you're going to say, well, they're so horrible. Why would I sign up to be their daughter? Well, maybe you decided to be the sacrifice to give your mother the opportunity to step up to the plate by being who you are. Now your mother failed miserably when Jen was talking about soul contracts. Now your soul contract is done. You're done. That doesn't mean never talking to your difficult mother, but what you're wanting to do, helping your mother, that soul contract is done. It's expired. You gave that opportunity. Your mother has declined it over and over again. The contract is done. Don't worry about how your mother is going to turn out. It is what it is. See your difficult mother for being the difficult woman that she is, and she will probably be difficult to the day she dies. Okay?
Give you some feedback?
Yes.
I got the message, you're right. I just now got the message.
There you go. Love this.
You know what,
Thank
so-
you.
So what's
Thank
so
you.
fascinating about the person that you're asking about was Steve. He was here when Susan and I were here last time. He was here. And he asked a
Steve,
question.
so many of us know it.
and so Steve was like a wonderful.
I'm really
wonderful
sorry.
bright light.
I'm sorry,
And-
but don't be so sorry for him.
No, he's not. He's smiling. He said you did it.
He's happy, but he loved it so much and he wasn't finished and he wanted to do it right again. So he's doing it again.
Jumped right
Yes.
in and said,
Oh, God, yes.
And this just happened like a month ago.
Yes. Because he's again, free will. This is his will. Mm-hmm.
Yay,
"Here,
Steve.
guys."
All right, Steve.
Aw.
Way to show up.
Oh, that's so nice. That is nice. That's really beautiful. You okay? Oh, poor thing. 687.
687. Anybody?
Okay.
Hi, go ahead.
Boy, I retired about a year and a half ago, and I was one of those people that my identity became my job for 40-some years.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the process of trying to figure out who am I? You know, what is my identity now that I don't have that? And didn't know whether I'm going the right direction or what.
Great question. I have a lot of people who are like that. You know, I always tell people if you're a workaholic or that was your identity, before you even try to do something like that and retire, and you're retired, so I get it, okay? But you need to actually start weaning yourself, even if it's a volunteer, getting involved in something that you think you might like, and start something else. I'm going to make this real short and sweet for you. You're not ready to really retire from life and a purpose. You may have retired from your job, but you're too vital. You need to get active in something that suits you. I'm telling you right now, because if not, you're going to suddenly get old and you're going to start breaking down. So go back and find something that regenerates you. You may have retired from your job, but remember, you didn't retire from life. So go and connect to something that speaks to you, and you're going to be on it again.
Finding that thing.
But think about it in a different way. What is it that gives you joy? And don't overthink it. Okay? Don't overthink it. You've got a lot of good qualities. You know, running things, being in charge of things. You can help organizations, be in charge of this, be in charge of that. If you just start even volunteering and they get to see your face, do you know how many of my clients that I've told this to, that they actually got offered jobs and they love it, but it's at their pace? Maybe it's just 3 times a week. Oh my God, you've got a lot in you. You got to start doing that. But it's not going to be on your door knocking. Go do it. But you're too young.
So wake
Here.
up and say, show me the next steps for my highest good. And
Oh.
be open to whatever shows up.
It
and
will.
Trust it.
It will. Oh God, it
Yeah.
will. I always say pray to runners. Runners are angels and they run to get. Now, what are runners? Runners will help you find anything that you have, anything that's lost, even within yourself. You lost your car keys. You want safe travels. You need direction. You're hoping that your day on your job interview, find a way for it to go well. Find a way for me to pay the rent because I'm really short this month. They will run to get. They live for 2 things, for you to recognize them and for gratitude. Okay? So really, this works. I don't ever preach anything I don't do myself. But you have to start believing in it. That's another thing. I wanted to say this too. I tell people this, okay, when you are praying or you're whatever it is you need, you truly have to believe in what you're doing. Just don't do it because we're telling you to do it. All right, well, they said it, I got to do it. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to really feel it and believe it. Even if you can't see it, you have to trust it. Okay? And that's the problem. A lot of people, if they don't see it, they don't believe it. Or if it didn't come in, I'm not doing this anymore. Okay? You have to keep this up. It's called a lifestyle change. How you see things, how you pray, how you incorporate protecting your space. It always has to be. It isn't just once and then that's it, or I forgot. I even tell people, if you can't remember to do it, set an alarm on your phone or on your watch that you have to do it. Pencil yourself into what you need to do for yourself. If you have to put in an appointment, by God, do it. It's okay. I don't care how you get it done, just do it.
Right.
Set the time aside, remind yourself to do it. Yeah. Okay. 694. Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
My young husband, John, died at the age of 35, 2.5 years ago. We have 3 small kids. We have the twins will be turning 3 on Halloween, and I have a 6-year-old son. I've been to enough psychics already. I got a lot of answers, so I'm not going to cry over it. I'm okay. But what I'm looking for is he's not really sending me enough signs. Like, I think about him nonstop a lot. So I just like other widows get dreams that they actually talk to them and like get more like signs that they're around. And I just like, am I missing them? Is he really sending them to me? Is he not able to send them for one reason?
He may be working up there.
I mean,
I'm serious.
doing what?
A lot of,
Like, what's more important than working with you?
yeah, I know. It's a real hard thing, but he is working. His spirit, his soul is working up there. Yeah, he
So
is.
apparently when we pass over you guys, we have to continue evolving.
You are. You're
And
doing
so
the
you're
work.
Going to university.
It's
and you're taking
work.
Classes, you're working.
It's
you're
work.
Absorbing, you're evolving.
It's work either way. Whether he chose to stay up there, whether your friend is reincarnating, it's still work. Okay? It's not over yet. That doesn't mean he's not going to send you a sign or you're not going to dream of him, but you're expecting it.
right.
Okay.
And so isn't that part of it, that people get so dependent on the signs that then they lose the power inside? that
Yeah.
They are okay, even though,
I
right?
just feel abandoned.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's silly to feel abandoned. Like,
Right.
and he was sick, but
One of your children see him.
yeah, I'm not gonna.
Got it. And your husband just came right through to tell me. Okay? So you don't be resentful in how you see the signs. Well, here's the thing I want to say, okay? With love. And I feel for you, I really do. But a lot of times we expect to see certain signs the way we want to see the signs. You're not going to see them that way. You're going to see them the way that he or she can show us the signs. So right now, because you're so codependent and you want it so bad because you've got that invisible veil on, he's coming through your daughter because she's more vulnerable and she's more open. And he's able. So he is in your home and he is watching. Okay? And that little girl waves to him and talks to him like no tomorrow.
And sings. Yeah.
There you go. Okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So just remember, if it isn't you personally right now, even if it's through the kids, your husband is very much an active spirit in your life. Okay. 696. Hi.
I'm Juanita.
Hi, Juanita.
My question is, what can I do to help my 6-year-old son Noah, who is having some struggles?
You know, it's funny with this little boy. When is his birthday?
April 20th.
This little boy is a little spitfire. Okay? And as much as he needs to be challenged, he needs nurturing. Now, I'm not saying you're not giving it to him, but if he is paired off with the wrong person, this child will not thrive. Am I right? Thank you. Now, it's very, very, how old is he? 6? All right, he's still young enough where you can pair him off. You know, there is a certain amount of maturity of energy. And sometimes when children are so sensitive, their maturity level is not high, it's low for all the other idiots that are out there because they're too pure. Does that make sense? Okay, so honestly, watch who he is around because this is why he is acting out this way. Be careful with that. Okay? Very, very important. Also, have you gotten him tested with his processing? You should. He's missing sequencing. And that is another thing. Now, what do I mean by that? What he hears and what he is materializing are two mixed signals. Take him to a child psychologist and get him diagnosed how he sees things and how he learns.
Cognitive therapy was very helpful for my son because of his processing.
See?
He didn't speak for the first 3 years of his life, and I was panicked, but it was like he was talking to me telepathically, like, well, duh, you know. So he needed a cognitive therapist to help him speak the words that he was thinking.
I will see you after the show. I'm going to give you somebody that will be very good for your son.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome, and I mean that sincerely. He will get better, by the way, but he needs this. Okay? Okay. 714.
Hey.
Hey, Gigi, how are you?
I sort of 2 ways to go, but I'm going to go first. So, I was told energetically that I should be moving to Orcas Island.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Orcas Island.
Oh, where is that? I don't even know where that is.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, that's interesting because it's a rather isolated island off of Seattle, and it's an Allegite area, and it can get very cold in the winter, and it's bed back out, in and out, that kind of thing, in emergencies. So the question is, why? Are the elementals there in trouble?
Yes, because honestly, that is the worst place for you. But I'm going to tell you, you've got some good to do there.
Right. So the question is, Susan, can I do that long distance?
Yes.
And so I don't really need the energy swinging there, but it doesn't mean
I would just,
live there.
no, you're not going to move there. You don't belong there. I'm going to tell you right now, if you do, you're going to regret it. But you could do a lot through the phone and through video conferencing and start adding video conferencing to what you're doing.
Okay.
It's going to be very effective to what your work is. Yes.
You mean on YouTube things?
No, video conferencing is on the computer, and you know, like when you see somebody like on Good Morning America and that person couldn't be there, and there you see them on the screen and they're talking, that's video conferencing.
But who did she conference with?
Whoever any of her clients over there are going to be from, or whatever is lurking from there, yes.
So you're saying connecting two people there
Yes.
that need her services?
Yes. And I think that there's going to be not abundance of people, a fraction, but what you're going to do is going to be monumental there.
All right, thank you.
I see 3 people. Just now, I just got 3 people. You're going to have 3 people that you're going to be very, very effective with the energy healing that you do. Of attachments.
So, if we can go to the Pacific Rim in Japan, from Orcus, it's all connecting because, that rim is sort of lit up, and then I had this vision about Japan just in a tsunami, doing the whole thing in like milliseconds.
Well, when you said Washington, is it Seattle?
Yes,
Lots of water there, right?
right,
Noticed there's going to be a ton of water where you're going to work with.
okay.
There's going to be 3 regions of water. There's your 3. There's your 3. Seriously. That's exactly what you're going to be doing.
All right,
Good for you.
thank you very much.
You got a lot of work to do, but you're going to do it.
Okay.
Good for you. Good for
Before
you.
we leave,
You're going
guys,
to
I'm
do
gonna
it.
connect you with some practitioners that are in the house. Gigi Belser is one of them. She's a healer. She's going to be with us at Lake Geneva on November 3rd for All Souls Day, but she's local here. And before she decides to move to either Japan or Washington,
She won't move.
want to get yeah, we're
You're-
good, we're good.
You won't move.
So, what, you mean I'm staying in Chicago?
Yeah, you're not moving.
Because it's interesting for everybody here, this is such a grounded area. I mean, Chicago is so safe, but it doesn't necessarily feel that way.
Right.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But you are going to go to 3 regions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.